this podcast is brought to you by Market Squawk, powered by livesquawk.co.uk for your pay-as-you-go on-demand data needs. Livesquawk.co.uk powers Market Squawk. We're also supported by xbrain.co.uk for all of your best supplements you can get. There's cordyceps mushrooms, collagen, protein. They are the UK on it distributor. You know, mate, xbrain.co.uk, fighting words. Enter that at the end, 30% off your order. Tonight we are absolutely delighted to be joined by Linus Udofia. Now, as we were just saying before we bang record, this is the first time we've been on both sides of a fight. We've normally sort of had one side interviewed and we're like, yeah, but we've got both sides this time. And I want to see how that feels. How are you?
How am I?
I'm live
good.
It now, yeah?
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, if anything, how are you? How's it feel to you? Like,
I mean, look,
it's not up to me, is it? Like, how's it
listen, I'm getting to chat to an absolute quality fighter who's chilling in a robe. What else could you want?
Oh, is that? I mean, I'm not sure what to say. Thank you, I guess. Oh, I'm not sure.
Is that? I mean, is this a picture of yourself in the background in your own bedroom? Because that's also huge.
That's just one of the pictures of myself.
I love that.
There's a mannequin. There's a mannequin standing at the bottom of my bed.
Has he got a suction cup on the end of it?
Nah.
It's a different one.
I said my bed, not yours.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no,
Bonus, mate.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of pictures. You know what it is? They tell a story. They're all like boxing pictures. They're not just random. They're boxing pictures, and they you know, one of them was like a debut. One of them was like I met my like hero, and the other one was a really hard fight, and one of them was like when I signed with someone. Roy Jones.
Yes.
Oh. Look at that.
Legend.
One of my favorite ones. One of my absolute favorites.
He's sort of been circling around on the radar for a while to try and get him over the line. I think what we're going to have to actually do is roll up to Brighton when he's with Junior with the mics and just be like, Roy, can you give me 10 minutes, please?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How did you get your start in boxing then? Because you're saying like Roy, you saw him and you just went, that's it.
So me and a couple of mates of mine, we used to like before I did this, I like played football, did like professionally, and did like loads of stuff. I did loads of things like karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, you name it. I did it all. And I wanted to just kind of like, I used to watch like loads of action movies, a little bit of Van Damme, Bruce Lee, you know, I used to want to be able to like just kick someone's ass on request, you know what I mean? So I just did all these things and none of them, they were all good, but none of them were like none of them, I don't know, none of them stimulated me. So I was you know, I kind of kept them going, played football for a while. And in playing football, I was playing for Ipswich. And then, you know, got released, started, you know, withering down in the leagues and things like that, playing for a team in Dunstable, things like that. And then a good friend of mine, Grant Walpole, he was into the boxing. He was, you know, into the boxing, really into the boxing. And I used to play football with him. And he turned around and he was like, I'm doing like a youth thing, you know, for kids or whatever. And they'll all they need to do, you just come down, do some boxing. It's just like a youth a little taster. It's free, no one has to pay. You just come down, I want to do it. I want to run it for the youth. And I was like, sweet, I'll give it a go. Like, yeah, why not? Started doing it. I realized I was all right. I weren't bad at it, you know what I mean? I weren't too bad at it. I had a little bit of obviously kickboxing background and things like that. So I weren't too bad. And then he was like, oh, if you want to fight, there's an amateur club in Upper Ring, you can go down there and you know, start doing that. And I went, I'll give it a go, like, why not? And before all this, or like, you know, before I even went down there, I'd watched there's a hour-long highlight video of Roy Jones absolutely prolapsing people. Just absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen that in my lifetime, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 times. A night, you know what I mean? Like, and so I watched that video. The first time I ever seen that video, I saw that video, and I was like, "What? Like, what is this? What's going on? Like, what's going on?" And then I look at who he's fighting. I'm thinking he's fighting top class world champions, and he's just putting his hand behind his back, slipping, knocking the guy out because his coach said, get him out this round. We got somewhere to be. Like things like that. I'm thinking to myself, what you are just taking up. Like this guy is just, I wanna do this. Like this guy, I look at it and I went, I want to do that someday. I want to do that. And then I wanted to get into boxing and I'm making him around at the right time. And he was like, I'm doing these, you know, come down. So it was like right timing. And I went down and I was like, yeah, why not? So yeah, so I went down with them. I started in the amateur club, and the thing with boxing, I tried a lot of things, tried loads of things. But the thing with boxing is it just, I don't know what it was. I think the first session, I think like mate, he was like showing me how to like pull back counter. And then I like, you know, I'd done it a few times and I don't know, it just, the whole science of making someone miss, and then you've clocked them, you're a few steps ahead. If they do this, you do that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was just that, and that was it. That was it. I blinked and I'm sitting here.
It's one of the it's one of like the truest of the martial arts, right? You say you have 8 possible shots. That seems pretty surface and low in technique, and then you put everything else in it, and it's deep or deeper than any other martial art out there, and every single person's physiology is different. So you can have exactly the same skill and slightly different physiology, and it changes everything. It's bananas.
It's the immediate results too. Like, I've done martial arts since I was a kid, and you always hear, I know this person does this and all this mystical shit. And I love my boxing gym. When I was a kid, there was a ring, and the coach would just have this like stone face. He'd hear all the bullshit. Cool, jump in the ring, show me. And people would either get the shit kicked out of them, come back with some humility, or they don't come back. But that's the thing, at least you can see and that's the beauty of boxing.
I'll tell you a good one. My second session, I got my nose broken. I sparred in my second session, and literally, mate, he's thrown like a right hand and I slipped it. And as I've gone to like, I don't know what I was doing, I just like almost turned into his left hook. And I turned and he just went crack. Oh man, my nose was in bits. I was in a bad way, man. I remember I went home that day. I held my own, I held my like self. I had to get out because I was like, nah, my nose is 100% broken. Got out, got home, and I was in tears. I was laying there and I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, this is so bad. I was like, what's going on here? Like, and I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. I was like, this ain't for me. This boxing ain't for me, you know, like I'm looking at pieces of my nose like hanging out, like blood everywhere, and I'm thinking, well, I want to go back to playing football. Like nothing, there's no crunching that does this to me. You know what I mean? Like you know. And then I said to myself, you know what? This is what it's about. Hang on. How about I go back here? How about this plot twist? How about this? How about I go back and learn how to not let that happen again? Yeah. And then get around it. So I went back and got around it, and like the rest was history after that. It was kind of like a not make or break, but kind of, you know what I mean, your fight or flight. You know, is this for you or is it not? Like you said, you know what I mean? Some people come back, some people don't.
Yeah.
How many amateur bouts did you have?
About 40.
It's decent, man. And what was the thing? Was it you just reached the point where you're like, I want to go pro now? Was there?
Nah. You know what? Funny enough, as an amateur, when I was an amateur, I never actually thought about going pro at all. I never thought about it. I just wanted it all out because I never looked too far ahead. I only looked at immediately what's in front. So if I was fighting and the championships were there, under 10s or whatever, that was what I was looking at. So did the under 10s, won that. What was next? Under 20s. Okay, won that. Nationals. Okay, won that. You name it, like Tri-Nations, like England, I think won that. The home county stuff, won them all. Like the only thing I didn't win was the box cup. That was it. That was it. And I only lost like twice, like in my whole career. So, and then the only thing I was looking at after all of that, the only thing I looked at was I was like, I'm not waiting next year to do another box cup. I'd rather just do Olympics. I want to go Olympics. Let me go do a Tri-Nation. Did Tri-Nations, won every bloody development fight, won everything. And they turned around and they were like, yeah, your style ain't really for us. And your style ain't really for us. We're gonna regret. We're gonna say come back and do it all again. And I can't remember what year it was. It might have been like 2000, whatever the Olympics was. I was trying to go for that one, and they turned around and were just like, come back again, and we'll try and get you in for the next one. Yeah. So the Olympics that just gone is what I would have been going for.
Oh,
right.
And
okay.
it just nah, I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that, man. I'm not waiting around, I'm not messing around in the amateurs. And then I was actually about to pack it in, to be fair. I was just like, this is just, I don't know, like it kind of demoralized me, the whole, I've done everything, I haven't even lost a fight, and my style isn't for them. I'm thinking, like, okay, I get it. It's all got to fit. Things have got to be right. But it just kind of made it. I was like, you know what? Like, well, I could do everything and still not get in. What's the point?
Yeah, like that must have been devastating. But like now,
also too, the sad thing is, right, that it's getting better. But hearing that your style isn't cut out for the amateurs just makes you going to make a fucking good pro. Do you know that?
Yeah. But at the time, I'm sure.
For sure. But
I never looked forward. I never looked far forward.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't even think about pros. So when they said that, I went, "What's the point of anything?"
This is what I want to do, and you're saying I can't do it when I've been doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like, despite the dream, like the style that you have just didn't mesh with the coaches that they had. So like, how are they supposed to coach you unless you're going to conform to that? Like, I understand it's bullshit. And if you're like yourself at that time, it must have just been fucking like crushing. You just like, it's not even like, it's truly unfair. It's just like, what?
Jose was getting told in the pros, like, don't put your hands behind your back. It's disrespectful. And it's like, I'm trying to sell tickets here. Like, you know, he was there back home. Everyone can fight. You got to do something different. The amateurs are a weird thing, man.
Yeah, amateurs is a weird place. And I always knew I weren't going to be in it that long. I was always going to just grab everything. But I never thought about what I was doing after. So my coach now, I used to train with him as an amateur. So I used to go, one of my old teammates, he actually turned pro before me. And he went and signed with this trainer, and then Terry, and then I used to go down just to, like, because there weren't really anything at the club, like there weren't really anybody that was pushing me or anything, so I didn't feel like I was learning. I felt like everyone was learning off me, but I weren't really getting anywhere. So I wanted more sparring, better sparring, so I went to like the pro gym and sparred like guys like Linus Udofia, Georgie King, Jake Ball, you name it. There was all these people there, and I weren't even a pro yet. And, you know, I was getting better, going on. And then my coach, obviously, me and him meshed and we gelled. He knew me a lot from the amateurs. I used to go there all the time. And when I told him about the situation with like the Tri-Nations, I've done it all. I've won it. I've gone to the countries. But they said, no, they don't want me. You know, they didn't. They said, come back and maybe try again. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and then I just went, I don't know. I said to him, I don't really know what I even want to do. And then he said, you know, if you want to turn pro, I'll be your coach. I'll coach you. Like, you know what I mean? You're pretty good. Like, you're very this and that. And I don't know. That's when I first ever was like, oh, pros, yeah. Well, like you know, pros.
You're gonna pay me for this shit. All right.
Yeah. And that was it. And that was like literally, it was that he flicked the switch that night. You know what I mean? And that was it. I just lit a different kind of fire. So everything, like, you know, I'm looking at a pattern there. The pattern there everything's been happening at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, where my head was when I started boxing and where my head was when I even turned pro and things like that. Everything's all been timing. So it can't be a coincidence, can it?
No, for sure.
Yeah, man.
No. I mean, like, that's what I was going to ask. Like, up until you signed with Wasserman, like you were like a devout industry head. Everyone knows how good you are and everyone knew how good you was, but you didn't have a platform to get it out really to that stage. But like Wasserman, like, how did you get hooked up with Wasserman? Was that pretty considerably sized?
Yeah, they're massive. Just a quick one before, like, I appreciate you said that everyone, you know, industry size, and everyone knew who I was. It was a hard one. It was a weird situation as well, because everyone was singing my praises and everyone's like, yeah, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, you're gonna be this. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking, well, why ain't anybody else? Why ain't these big guys knocking on the door there? What's going on? Like, why ain't these companies? Why ain't the match rooms? Why ain't all these people knocking on the door? And then luckily, like, again, timing, David Hay came knocking with Haymaker and, you know, his run and what he was doing. I feel like I capitalized on that a little bit and took, you know, got a little bit more name for myself, which was nice. But then even after that kind of fizzled out to his own thing, the names, they've only just come knocking now. So I won the English title, and then my manager gives me a call one day, and he's like, oh, by the way, Wasserman or Sauerland brothers and Wasserman want to meet with you. They want to talk about promotional deal. And I was like, okay, wicked. Like, it sounds wicked. And then and that sounds great. I was like, wicked, that's perfect. Let's have a look. And everything come through. The contracts came through. It was perfect. We tweet whatever we wanted, did this, did that, and they just come through. I don't think it was that black and white. I think that it came from I went to spar at Adam Booth's gym with Abbas Baru. And I must have done well because the Wasserman guys set it up. They were Abbas's representative, and they set it up. And from then, we've always been on quite like good terms, even though we weren't with them yet. And then after that, they came knocking after that. So, so that was it. That was kind of where that went from. But when I had when I was speaking to a lot of people in a lot of high places, there was rumors that Boxer in I was on a roster for Boxer and Sky Sports as well. So nice. a lot of the time where I was like, oh, why aren't these people coming knocking? What's going on? Yeah, it's a bit of validation to hear like from some of the big boys that you're on this roster, you're on the list of names and things like that. And I was like, oh, that's actually quite nice. But it was nice. That's the journey so far. Anyway, Wasserman, can't really fault them. They're pretty good. They've really looked after me, not just on a professional level, but on a personal level as well. These guys are like people I consider like, you know what, I've got a lot of time for these guys, and they're genuinely good people.
That's important. That goes.
I mean, like Cali seems a very interesting guy. Like you watch that guy and you're like, is he on all of the blue? Like, is he on all of substances ever? Right. And then you're just like, he can't be, because he's like this at 9 a.m. at a coffee on an interview. He's like this in a cab. Like he's highly strung. He's clearly a very highly strung young man.
No comment.
No comment. No, I was going to say like the Matchroom Sky departure, DAZN, like whatever, it's actually worked out quite well now because they left a big void. Sky have gone Boxer, Wasserman. We want. I mean, like when you heard the Sky and Sky Sports Boxer thing list, chances are, someone like an Adam Smith, he's got his eyes on fucking everyone. The geezer's a machine. He's just like this, like he's just going to go out shopping and just say, I want you guys to do the shopping. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sky can't be the promoter as well. It's perfect. It's worked out. Yeah, and like, I mean, I think now's as good as time as any, because now you are going to be fighting for the British title, right? It's highly likely to be on a Sky Sports show, highly likely. And what better platform, what better chance for either one of you guys? It's a great opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity for a beautiful belt. I want one.
Yeah, 100%. These are the kind of things like, where Matchroom, departed and did their own thing, and they're trying to go global and take the world market. They did leave a massive void, and Sky, Boxer, and Wasserman doing absolutely great jobs. The shows they put on, the fighters they've got, and it's just I can't see it going anywhere but up now. It's and to be part of it and to be competing on the stage, to be part of it, to be high up in it as well, and like where like a lot of the time I've been signed with people when I was with David Hare, and this is no like shade on them or wherever they were. Their sole focus was Joe Joyce and MVP. I was kind of like, yeah, you do for until you do something special. But with Wasserman and things like that, they see you as a massive asset, and they see you as someone they actually want to build carefully and actually invest a lot into, and which is what I felt in return. You know what I mean? And it's a nice place to be. They've done their job. They've won the purse bids, which shows a massive intent to be beating PT and Frank Warren. It shows massive intent and belief in me. And I can't. I'm really excited to see what happens next. Hopefully on Sky Sports co-maining or main headlining an event or something. But just waiting for dates and things like that to come out. So it's a really, really very exciting time for British boxing at the minute with the networks and things like that. Yeah, I'm glad it's not like America where you got PBC, you got XYZ, you got this, you got.
And they won't fight each other. You're stuck.
Yeah. And, you know, where over here, it's a bit different. It's, you know, like you said, the English market is very wide open, and it's, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting being, you know, on the other side of it where you're spectating, and being on this side of it where you're fighting as well. It's very interesting. It's nice. It's good to see.
So it's a pretty good domestic middleweight scene at the minute anyway. And then like just slightly above domestic, you know, it's still pretty like Liam Williams is still an animal. That Eubanks fight was weird, but it was a great performance by Junior. You know, Cash last weekend, did you see his fight?
Yeah, I watched that. It was pretty good performance, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, like it showed a level of vulnerability we haven't seen from Cash before. It's one of those fights where we got to learn stuff about it, right? And it's
yeah. Well, you know, like as a fighter, things like that can happen. It's not like things like that can happen. I know that. It's, you know, like sometimes it happens. I think, you know, a really important thing that a lot of people aren't looking at is he said some things in the interview that was quite interesting, where he said he hasn't really been living the life he should have, and whatever that means, all we can do is assume, but whatever that means, it almost caught up with him that night. And I don't think that is the Felix Cash we know. I think there's another level to that. I think there is a better Felix Cash. And
you can't tell from the body on him. Fucking hell. I wish I looked like that if I didn't live the life that I was supposed to.
But he did look longer than when he fought Bentley. Like when he was fighting, but do you know what I mean? Like there was something thicker and fuller about him when he fought Bentley. Yeah. Like, I don't know if maybe he put on a lot and it was like hard to get it off, and that stripped a little bit. Yeah.
My point, you know, he said it himself. He said, you know, he's back a lot, like in a sense of like, yeah, he was out of the ring. He should have really built momentum from the Bentley fight. Obviously, he had some issues, but he's had some personal issues go on and things like that. And, you know, he said it himself. He was like, you know, I haven't been living a life the last couple of months. And, you know, like you said, I think, you know, some of that caught up with him a little bit in that fight. And, you know, it showed a level of vulnerability, not because of his game and, you know, his skill set and things like that. I think that was a lot of outside influences, and that's something that I think shakes him up a little bit and kind of, you know, makes or breaks him. It kind of says, you know, you're actually you're better than this, and if you can continue where you're going, this is just a snippet of what could happen to your career. So like, you know, like realistically, I'm a fighter. I want all fighters to do well. I want everyone to do well, and he's you know what I mean, he's a massive talent, and I hope this is him shooting up now. I think he's above domestic level.
What keeps you so disciplined? Like just the dreams of Roy, or?
No, I got my own dreams. I got my own things. You know, I want. It used to be when I was younger. It used to be like, you know, I want to make loads of money. I want to be known here and there. And then I'm not saying that I'm minted or known everywhere, but you know, I've got a little taste of it, and it's actually not my dream. It's more just make like my family happy, my family proud, and things like that. Yeah, I don't have any kids or anything. This is my mum, you know, my immediate family. I just want to make them proud and make them happy and make them comfortable, you know. And obviously, when the accolades of the sport go down as one of the best that did it and things like that, you know, obviously I want to be a world champion, unify and things like that, and just build a really good legacy. Before it was very material, but now my bigger picture is, you know, my name. I want to build the legacy. I want to go down in history. So that's where I'm at now. And I always look at the bigger picture in the gym, and I really love learning, and I feel like I learn every day, and I enjoy what I do. And I feel like the day I don't enjoy this anymore is when I'm out of here.
That's deep. That I like that. Of the current world champions, obviously WBO is vacated now. I think Jenna Beck's fighting with that. Which one of the four would you say is the most vulnerable belt? Which one is the one that you personally go for just on the aesthetics?
Oh, I think the IBF. The red one,
that's my favorite one too.
Nice.
You know?
It's nice. It's nice. It's my favorite. It looks. Do you know what? I first saw it on Kell Brook.
Yep.
I first saw it on Kell. Which one did De Gale won the IBF as well?
Yep. Gale won the IBF. Yeah. Frost has had the IBF a couple of times.
So so I saw it on Kell Brook, and I went, "That's a beautiful belt." And then James De Gale won it, and we was in the same gym. We was in the same gym in Essex, and he brought it in, and I was just like, I want this belt. So anytime anyone's ever asked me, anyway, what belt, WB, everyone always says WBC.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, it's nice, but it's just a bit,
yeah,
it's a bit common now, isn't it? It's a bit like, it's everyone.
That one's got a gold eagle hanging off of it. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's
a difference.
You know I mean? Yeah.
The IBF is a beautiful belt. Like, it's a beautiful belt. And I don't think a lot of Brits have won it.
No, not as many. Like WBO is pretty big. WBO, WBA are like rife for British champions. WBC lesser so. IBF. I tell you what, I think there was like a bit of a connection with the IBF and Matchroom for a bit. I think they had like some quite, even now, I think they still have quite favourable rankings. Like some, you know, Frank has got like the WBA,
like Don King and WBC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. WBO belongs to Frank Warren, doesn't it?
Yeah. WBO, WBA.
And Bobby Arum. Bobby Arum loves the WBO champion.
So for you to get the IBF, that means that you have to go through Mr. G, who is he a hero of yours? Because I know he's definitely old enough to be a hero of yours, but
yeah, always admired him because he was a bit of an anomaly in a sense of what he was doing, how he was doing it. To me, his style wasn't really my style, but he just reminded me of a tank. He just wrecked anything it came into contact with. Just absolutely walked through everything. You could, if brick wall in front of it, he'd go through it. Do you know what I mean? Like he just that's. I always watched him if I wanted to kind of see something different because he doesn't throw punches like everyone else does. He throws his jab very piston like jab, but he throws it very different to how you see it normally.
That hook as well.
Yeah, he's got a vicious hook, but it's scary. None of it is orthodox. He doesn't throw it like you're taught it. He throws it very differently, and he throws a lot. He had me doing forearm workouts because he was doing forearm workouts and things like that. And I thought, you know what? But again, like you look, there's a, and I can only speak for myself, but there's a weird and a humbling aesthetic when your idols become your rivals. You know what I mean? Like. I
was going to say, how does that feel to be in the position where the people you look up to you now competition?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, like, and it's little victories, little things. Like the first time I ever felt it was when I was sparring James DeGale for his first and second. So when he fought Truex, when I sparred him for the first time, I was like, I've looked up to this guy. I watched this guy at Wembley. I watched this guy here. I watched him all over the place. I watched him before I got into boxing properly,
for sure.
And to then be called up and they go, James, he wants to spar you. He wants someone like you to spar. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, wait, what? This guy that I've been watching for so long wants to spar me to help him get ready for it. Like that's mental to me. That was mental to me. And I was just like, that's crazy. That is.
Yeah. I
couldn't sleep that night because I was just like, what? What's going on? Like you're looking up to someone, and I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's nice. And it's just like, obviously, later on, a later date when I'm, going for world titles and world honors and things like that, hopefully some of the names that are there are still there now. And, I think it would be quite nice. It'd be quite a nice moment. But it's nice. It's humbling. There's a nice feeling about it.
What was that spar like? Is he every bit as awkward as he seems?
Oh, he's, you know what? He's clever. He's really like, not saying James DeGale is not a clever fighter, but when you think about James DeGale, you think southpaw, good engine. He's all right. He's good. He's very good, very sneaky. But he's very smart. He's so smart. Like one thing I really underestimated was like I was thinking, I'm sparring James DeGale for 12 rounds. This is gonna be not a tear up, but it's gonna be very hard. I'm not saying it wasn't hard, but he really knows how to take 2.5 minutes off every round. It's weird. That's weird to say that, right? But he knows how to do it. I'm talking. He'll come in. He'll throw a jab. He'll step out. He'll step back in and throw a couple of feints. Then move around. Then throw a couple of feints. Then move around. Then throw a couple of feints. Then move around. Maybe throw a jab here and there. A minute and a half gone by. 2 minutes gone by. 2.5 minutes gone by. You realise this guy's thrown 4 punches this whole round. And you're like, what? How has he done that? Like. To me, I felt like I was under pressure at some point, but you know what I mean? And then like he does it for like maybe the first 3, active for the next 3, takes the next 3 off. Do you know what I mean? It's very clever. It's clever stuff. It's really
economical.
Clever stuff. And it made me think and add something different to my game, and I learned something. I learned a lot actually sparring him. Like a few times I did, to be fair.
Nice. Hold that 1 second. You talk amongst yourselves. I have to do something very quickly. Hold on.
You need to go pee-pee. That's exactly like watching Floyd when he's, you know, that motherfucker looks like he could do 20 rounds on the trot just because he's so good at controlling rounds and doing no more than he needs to. That's a skill in itself, right?
Yeah, 100%. I've seen him. I can't remember who was sparring, but seeing him spar is just so economical. Like Andre Berto said it perfectly. He's like, he's so good at conserving everything. So good at like just getting you where he wants you to be. He gets you and then nicks it. It's clever. It's really clever stuff. And it's like, I mean, there'll never be another like Roy Jones. There'll never be another Floyd. There'll never be another any of these guys. Like these guys are just like special, like special guys. And it's like like I feel like I was like almost, I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but I feel like I've been blessed to see people like
Absolutely.
this. I watched Mayweather Pacquiao. Obviously I weren't there, but I watched it. I paid for it. I stayed up with some mates that, you know what, arguably they weren't boxing fans. So making them go through that, and how much I hyped it up, they were like, that was shit. And I went, no. I can't.
No. I know what you're saying. Listen, what you need to really look at. I mean, look, come back tomorrow and we'll watch it in slow motion, and it's going to be more boring for you, but it's going to be better for me.
It weren't. I know that wasn't exciting, but it was class, and they were just like, no, he just ran away, and I'm like, no.
Hey, I went to Vegas for it. I had to put up with all the you wasted your money. I'm like, fuck off. It was great. You just have to know what you're looking at. Look, I would pay double. I don't care. I'll watch it again. I don't care. It was well, I think we're privileged to, like, you know, maybe not so much Roy Jones, but privileged to, like, you know, watch the fighters and, you know, the greats of, even like right now realistically, it's, you know, Terence Crawford, Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, and all these fighters now. We're privileged to see these people because there's so many times in sport, you see it so many times. There comes a certain kind of person, individual, team, or whatever that just are. There's world level, and then there's like elite. You get the Iniestas, you get the Xavis, you get the Ramoses, you get all these, and then you get the Messis and Ronaldos. You know what I mean? You get the ones that just step above. Do you know what I mean? Like you get the. But you guys know what I'm trying to say. You get your Michael Jordans every now and then.
You get all the absolutely class, world class, absolutely wicked individuals, and then you get the elite. Like there's just a very small 1% of the elite. You know what I mean? And I'm privileged to, you know, see it, to be living through it. You know what I mean? Like right now, so it's amazing.
How do you feel Roy's doing as a coach with Junior?
We see it in that last fight. When the partnership first came along, I said Junior hasn't been with the work with his dad and how that whole setup was with that whole setup. It was so regimented and so closed. I felt like when he partnered up with Roy, he weren't going to be open-minded enough to try something new. And that was going to break down very quickly. I thought that was
ending up with them two fighting on Triller. That's where I thought that was ending.
I didn't think that was going to last long, but
no,
I'm thankfully wrong, because, you know, Junior's now looking, even before the Junior was great, exciting, bums on seats. You know, I mean, he was always in a really good fight. And, you know, the first couple of fights with Roy Jones were, you know, very, very touch and go, very different, very, you know, it was experimenting. It wasn't when he came in, everyone expected the old Eubank with just Roy Jones Eubank style. So everyone still expected that whole 100 punches around, going all out. It was never going to be like that. It was, you know, Junior was going to try new things, and Roy Jones, I've seen it happening. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? You know, what Roy Jones is really adding into his game is patience. He's really adding the boxing. He's really adding the IQ of it, and you saw that all come out in the Liam Williams fight. You know, and I think that, you know, all the couple of years they've been working together has really paid dividends, in my opinion, because not only was Eubank doing, it's not like he was doing that to a lesser fighter, a domestic level fighter. He wasn't doing it to anybody. Yeah, I mean, he was doing that to Liam Williams, who was this was billed as 50-50 fight. In my head, it was a 50-50 fight, but you know, Eubank made it look very, very, you know, very quite, you know, quite easy. And you know, with all due respect to Liam Williams as well, the rounds he won, Eubank took off, in my opinion.
I was going to ask you about that. Like, do you think that was Eubanks literally just letting everyone know that, look, I've got this under control to the point where I can literally fuck up? Like the last round, obviously, his hand was hurting and he was showboating and he explained all of that. But what was it, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? You kind of had to have given a chunk of them to Williams because Williams was at least doing something where Eubanks wasn't. But it wasn't under, you could see that it wasn't under his control, and at any minute you thought, Rory Jr. can stop this whenever he wants. That was the frustrating thing.
It was like when Billy Joe would get the rounds from Canelo, it's like you could see Canelo's just assessing. So like Billy Joe may be getting, but it's not like he's losing the round. It's like he's just getting it all in the radar. Like Loma will give a round away, you know, just to get him in the thing.
Half of it. I think a good chunk of it was ego. A good chunk of it is possibly the hand playing a part in it. You know, we'll never know. The only person that I know is Junior, but it looked like, because even the rounds he did lose, I just thought, you know what, the only reason he's lost this round is because Williams has gone forward. Do you know what I mean? I personally
he's never in trouble at any point.
There was a few rounds where, Liam stepped his foot on the gas, and then, you know what I mean? You know, he won them rounds relatively convincingly, but a lot of it, like you said, it felt like if Eubank really wanted to, he could put some punches together and Williams would be out of it. But you know, I think it showed a lot of levels. It was good to be there live as well. I was there, literally front row. It was incredible fight, incredible atmosphere in Wales as well. And it was, you know, fair play to Eubank, man, because I feel like he was. I'm pretty sure that the Eubank supporters were in my row, and there were 10 of us. 10 of us.
Yeah, and his dad's one of them.
And it was and you know, to be on that kind of stage, in like, I'm telling you, like, seeing it on TV is one thing, but the atmosphere in there was electric. It was different. The last time I felt something like that was when I was at George Groves Crotch 2. That was mental. That was mental. And
we'll have to get Frotch on to ask how many people are in the crowd for that night.
That was mental. And for Eubank to kind of, you know, keep his head, keep his game plan, and, you know, kind of do it the way he did in the Lion's Den, or the Dragon's Den, we'll call it.
This is the thing, like, he has it all. Right?
Yeah.
He does have it all.
I'd say it's quite special. Yeah. It's quite special right now. He could, you know what I mean? I think he needs a few more, not high profile, but high level fight. Not high profile, not big names. I mean, like a good level, like high level fights. You know what I mean? And
but like that kind of, you know, the ones that the ones that are like, you either got to have like a Gabe Rosado-esque world level ish fighter who's coming down in weight, or you need like a hungry, wants to be a mandatory, like a Jenabek, you know. And like, if you put in a Jenabek and a Eubank, you know, that's like a 50-50.
What's Jaime Mongwai? Is he super middle?
No, he's a middle. He's WBO mandatory, and he's fighting this weekend. Like someone like Jamie, but
that's tasty. That boy can crack.
That's tasty, innit? But then again, he got pushed to the edge with Gabe Rosado, so Gabe Rosado might be a good shout to put in there as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Rosado will always do that, though. That's what we were saying. I fucking love that guy for keeping alive this whole. You don't need that the whole time. If you're fighting savages, sometimes you're going to come on a losing end. But everyone that fights Gabe is going to be in a fight. Like,
they're going to be the only person that got away with fighting Gabe was Martin Murray, I think.
Yeah.
He absolutely nicked a living that night, because
Triple G almost bludgeoned him to the end. That was
that was hard to watch.
Yeah.
How many sites did you guys look at red suits like Gabe from this weekend though? Like metallic red with a black roll neck, bad boy. Come on.
I haven't
with
seen
the
it.
loafers to match. It was big.
This guy's all over the
it.
gums all the time.
Mate. He had a metallic red three-piece on with a black roll neck. It was power.
There's a lot of fights out there. Personally, I wouldn't want to see Eubank versus a Triple G. I think I don't know. Because I'm only saying that because I don't know what Triple G is going to show up. The whole Murata, and we'll see how that goes with Murata and things like that. I don't know what Triple G will show up. I don't really want to see Eubank against Kell Brook. If the weekend's fight goes however it's going to go, I don't want to see it against Conor Benn. I don't want to see it against like all these names that are getting thrown out there that just, I don't know, personally don't really, I don't know, none of them light my fire. Maybe a Hammy Manguire, Gabe Rosado.
Like proper big fights, not spectacles. Like you don't want like Eubank and Kell, that's a spectacle. Eubank and Ben, that's a spectacle. Like like it's been really hard to warm to him for as a fan for me personally. But now I'm kind of getting there after a decade, and like I just want to see how far he can go now. That's where it's at, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get that. I do want to see how far he can go, but I think before I always, it was almost, we always knew how far he can go because at world level he stepped up and he never got there. And we always thought, he's not world level. I'm not saying he is now, but this last performance and how
he's knocking on that door,
it's opened it up. He's firmly knocking on that door, and it looks good. It looks good, but we'll see what the plan is for him and Wasserman and things like that. But I think Eubank's in a lot of good fights. He's going to be in a lot of good fights, and I think in a lot of those fights he comes out on top as well.
Do you want to talk about your fight, or would you prefer not to?
I mean, yeah, we can talk about it. What do you want to say?
What do you know about Denz? Are you because I think you guys were supposed to spar at one point and it just never happened.
Yeah.
For like even Denz is like, I don't even know why it didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't happen either. Like, everything was there. I don't know why it didn't happen. But look, what do I know about Denz? He's all right. I met him a good amount of times. We've never shared the ring together. The first time I met him, it was at York Hall. He was Chris Conger was fighting someone, and he was just there. And I was stood with Isaac Chamberlain, and obviously they're all friends. And I just met him then, and I was like, "Oh, you good?" I think me and him were both like maybe 4-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were young infants, like real young, real like starting out in our careers. And someone said something to me. He goes, "Oh, Denzel wants to fight you," and I went, "Right now?" Like, what did I say to him? What did I say to him? And it wasn't a situation. I think everyone was just, when naturally you have two guys same weight, same record.
Of course.
It weren't him. He never said it. I believe he never said it. Someone else just said, "Oh, you two will be a fight," and then it just kept on going. It kept on going. It kept on going. I was meant to fight Taylor Jones. That fell through for a Southern area, and then Denz came in and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And it was just kind of like, well. No, not really. I don't think this fight is worth that. I think if we did it now, it starves the public of loads of things. Like it's like look at a Coley Chamberlain, like that. Imagine that fight at Southern area level.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not. It's not. I mean, you're both not even where you want to be yet in your potentials. You know what I mean? It's just in my opinion a bit of a waste. Obviously, management decided against it. We moved on with that. Met him again at York Hall again. And nothing. I mean, we don't like each other. I think.
No. No point is that. Yeah, but it's
I like speak very highly of him. I think he's a very good fighter. Very swept under the rug after the Cash performance. Not by me personally. Very swept under the rug. I think I think performances like that, do define you, but I don't think it's negative. I think he would have learned just like he did with the Mark Heffron the first fight. I thought that was a bit close. I think he learned a lot from that performance. He wasn't happy with it. He wasn't happy with himself, and he learned a lot from it and came back and look at the difference when he came back. And that defined him a bit. And now I feel like this Cash fight, he did really well coming back against. I can't remember the guy's name, but he had a fight after Cash, and he showed he gave a good, very, very good. He said a lot. You know what I mean? He said a lot, and I don't think but he's been swept under the rug by a lot of people with because of that last fight, and I don't think that was. I don't think that's the same Denzel. I don't think that is. I don't think that was Denzel Bentley. I think that was more of how good Cash was than where Denzel Bentley is.
Exactly. That was one of those ones where you watch that as a pal and as a fan, you're just like, what is going on? It was like we're
also
boys with
the fallout is fucking disgusting. Same with
the fallout is rough.
And these guys where it's like, are you fucking kidding? Like, how short is your memory where based on one fight that I was never shit exposed, and but it's like fuck off with all that.
It's not just a fight world. Like, football is just as fickle, man. Like all of you know what? Not even football, just sport in general. Like people, when you're rated, when someone rates you, when someone says, "Oh, you know what, you're good," and someone that comes along is better than you, it's almost like no one goes. Someone comes along that's better than you. It's almost like no one goes, "Oh, that guy's good." Everyone goes, "No, this guy's shit." That's what happens. And I'm like, I don't get how you can do that. But again, it's the sport we're in.
And sometimes they'll still talk shit about the guy who won. Like it's like, well, hang on a minute, you're giving this guy all this shit about being shit, and I beat him, and I'm still getting shit.
Yeah,
it's too easy to do this. It's too hard to do this. So people just chat shit.
Look, it's the sport we're in. I try to not really look at the negatives too much. I don't really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love messing about online. If you ever see my Instagram or Twitter, I love messing about. I love messing about. It is what it is. I have a laugh with everything. But you know, it is what it is. It's where we're at. I open myself to. I love it when people say good things. I love it when people gas me up. I love it when people are saying all these nice things. So I have to take the good with the shit that will come with it sometimes. So God forbid anything ever happened to me and I got prolapse or I fought someone that was just better than me. And you know what I mean? I ended up becoming a meme for it. I put memes up all the time. I laugh at memes up all the time. I do this, I do that, I do. So I've got to take the good with the bad. I've got to, you know what I mean? I can't be all happy to be, you know, hearing all the good things. I love hearing all the good things about me, but not hearing the bad things. So it's one of those. It's what we open ourselves up to. Do you know what I mean? It's where we're at. You know, it's a byproduct of what we do. So it is what it is.
Plus, fight fans are insane. Like football fans, I think, are worse because at least with football fans, they talk about we. You know, like they're part of the team as well. At least with fight fans, there's no we in the fight fans. It's just and that also makes it a little bit more negs. But I wanted to circle back because what you said about you and Denzel at like Southern area level. 100% a waste, but for a British title clash, that's a classic
fight.
Perfect. It's what the British title is for, you know. And like you both are. I mean, this will both be your 18th fight. I think you're 17-0, right?
Yeah.
And he's 15-1-1. So so 18th fight. It's a fantastic fight. It really is. And like you said, co-main event on a Sky. Maybe even the Savannah card. That'd be all right, isn't it? Newcastle?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
Yeah.
Very possible.
I'm hyped for it. Proper hyped.
Fucking
I'm excited, man. I just want to get it going, you know what I mean? Like we've been training for a while and I'm just kind of like, I think there's a meeting next week and we're going to have some dates at some point. Can't really say too much because I don't actually know. And I don't
exactly.
know it's showing up. Yeah, so you know, I just want to get going. I just want to get going. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and it's been bubbly, and we've always said it as well. I was like, you know, me and Denzel, it doesn't make sense at any other level but British and above. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. I rate myself. I rate him. Like, why waste it down there?
Yeah. I think the last time there was something sort of so perfect time pre-world was like probably Groves de Gale, right? And that's a while ago for. Like, because that felt like, number one, it sold out like the fucking O2 and you're like, all right, fair enough. And that was a heavy level fight, that one. I think that's the last one I can feel that's sort of like this well matched.
Well, you bank Billy Joe.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't, that one for me personally, I always felt Billy should have had that because Billy was the Olympian. Billy was the, you know, like the virtuoso, and Junior was coming in as, at that point, it was like a
Chris's
very
son, isn't
it? Exactly. It was still very much so the son, where, you know, again, that was a good fight. It's literally the half 50-50 fight, literally to within about 10 seconds, wasn't it? That he nicked it by, give or take. You know what I mean? What's his name? Groves and James de Gale. Great. Oh, that was great. What was that for the British and Commonwealth? Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, absolutely great fight.
Even like Joyce Dubois, that was decent, wasn't it? A couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was a big crossover.
Very good, yeah. That was very good. That was very good. That showed another level as well, to be honest. That showed another level where Joyce is, because he changed some bits as well. He didn't fight the same as he normally does. He normally just kind of walks through people. He kind of just walks in, rock 'em, sock 'em, takes, you know what I mean? But actually, that was actually, you know, it was really. The bar was like a heavy favorite, and I was like, this is more 50-50 than the bookies are making it. But fair enough. But yeah, there's a lot of good fights out there. I'm trying to think of some now, but I can't. Anthony Fowler, Scott Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah,
Scott Fitzgerald, Ted Cheeseman, Troy Williamson, Ted Cheeseman, JJ Metcalf,
that division
Ted Cheeseman, bloody Kieran Conway, you name it, they're just there. Like it's good fights. There's been loads of good fights.
Mate, I think we'll stop that there because irregardless, like it's an amazing fight. I would love to see you back with the belt. If you do, are you going to go for the full defenses so it's yours, or would you just do a couple and then be like that old boy up on the European title? Because what's he? He's 58 or something, isn't he? He's quite
42.
He's quite old.
Yeah. You see, in my head, I don't like, again, I'm still the same person that I was like 10 years ago. I don't like thinking too far. Far. So I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh yeah, after I'm gonna do this. Like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground. And yeah, just we gotta win it first, we gotta grab it, and then we'll see what we're doing with it after.
Mate, I can't wait to see it. Honestly, can't wait to see it. Buzzing for it.
Me, you both. I can't wait. I can't wait to go.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thanks for coming.
Best of luck. I can't wait for the announcement. If we can be there, we'll be there. Don't worry about it.
Thank you for talking to me, man. I'll speak to you guys soon.
Thank you. If we can do it again, we're wearing robes as well next time. We're going to pimp it out.
everybody do it.
I've still got my robe. I never got to use it, did I? Oh, mate.
I'm great.
Thank you so much, Linus. Have a good one, man.
You too. Take care, guys. Take it easy.